Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be starting on part 2 of our move across the country catch up on our budget after not keeping up with it except for a list with all transactions. So this is essentially me catching up. In my previous video I couldn't find my calculator and I still haven't found it. I'm using my computer at the moment, but all the red amounts are what I had to work out. So I had an income on the 25th of April of 20,520. Our expenses was 14,954 and 17 cents. Those were all the bills, mostly because we had some of the loans that were zero, since they were paid off by our massive moving loan over here. That's why it was less. But then we had unexpected expenses, my computer's power supply that went, and then also an expense for the kids of 506 Rand. So that in total was 1,106. Actually, 2 of them were expected. Toiletries we didn't even spend anything on. So actually, we did well there. Then we had our personal loan that we paid 69 to. That was before the bank paid it off. Then our revolving credit, we paid 5,000 to that. And then also 324, which was the interest for the month. And in the end, we had a negative amount of 933, which we moved to the loan. So over here, on the loan, we added it in as April week 5, 933. The totals has to be updated. They are not correct at the moment as I'm catching up. So over here is the other week I did yesterday. You will see I crossed out some of the amounts. That's because credit card SB was actually paid from the loan, so that's over there. And then the other ones were already noted on this one. I didn't realize it, so I apologize for that, but I have adjusted everything. So from 3rd of May I wasn't working anymore, so the income we had was from the insurance refund and furniture, and that amounted to 4,524 and 52 cents. Then we had all our expenses from our account, which amounted to 18,467 and 69 cents, and that left us with a negative 13,000. Then we had all our normal household expenses, food and cleaning. That was mostly for the move, as we had to buy a few things we didn't have. Takeout, electricity, all the normal things except the alcohol. That's not normal for us, but that amounted to 5,082 Rand and 57 cents, and left us in a negative balance of 19,025 Rand and 74 cents. So then we also had school and clothing, which were unexpected expenses, and that amounted to 591 and 88 cents. So to the loan account, there was an amount of 19,617.62. We used the loan amount from the loan to cover all of these, and that is noted over here as May week 1. So today I'm going to continue with our paychecks. So we are going to start with 10 to 16 May. I am just going to get my papers. Okay, so let me just grab a black pen. Okay. That pen doesn't work anymore. Okay. So we are going to start off with, let me just move that. Okay, so we didn't have any income, so the income was 0 over here. So that will all be from the loan account, and there was a lot happening. So on the 10th, we paid for grocery delivery, and that was 154.95. And then we paid electricity. We didn't buy a lot. We had a prepaid meter, So we didn't want to leave a ton of units for the next tenant, and so we only bought 50 rand, and that was still on the 10th. Then we had a 20 rand tip for the driver of the grocery delivery. Then on the 11th we bought 50 rand again. That was our last day in the house, so that was our last time that we paid for electricity for the house, which was great. I also ended up getting more airtime, as there was a bunch of places we had to phone around to. Something that happened was that the truck we were going to get for our furniture was cancelled on the day that we were meant to move. So we had to source a different truck. The unfortunate part is that there was no insurance included, as a friend did us a favor. So the truck we were going to get had insurance included. The new truck we got didn't have insurance included, and we couldn't get insurance because it was basically added without permission of the company. Well, not exactly without permission, but it was at own risk, basically. That's what they said. So yeah, it wasn't insured. We suffered a bunch of damages, a bunch of things was broken. I had a shelf that completely disintegrated. We had my computer that got damaged, and it cost a lot of money to fix, but I'll just add it all in here so you can see. So then we had airtime. Then we had our accommodation. We paid accommodation once, if you remember, because we were going to move the week before. And then we paid accommodation again because, yeah, the day after the move, the flights were expensive by then because I refused to book the flights in case something got cancelled, something went wrong. So accommodation was just necessary. We only got there by 5 p.m. Started that morning at 5 p.m. or a.m. And it was a hell of a day. I'm not gonna lie. So we paid for our accommodation again at 1174 and 50 cents. Then we had a fuel expense, which was 200. Then we had a parking fee of 10 rand. Then we had food, which was 119.86. I literally just bought milk and bread at that point as we were moving, and I actually think this was hot dogs for everyone while we were cleaning up. Then we had cold drinks, which was another 120. That would actually fall under snacks, but yes. Then we had vaping expense of 135. I bought Sparkkeeper's Friend from our Amazon, if I can call it that. It's called Take a Lot. So that was cleaning expense, and that was 190. Then that last weekend my mother came to visit and we decided to do something fun. So we have family fun expense. We went bowling and for lunch, and that was 360 plus 800, so 1160. Am I right now? Yes. And that was the expense for that. Then on the 12th, that was actually from the weekend before, it wasn't on the 11th. On the 12th, I had to pay for our trolley rental, and that was just 1,000. It was basically just for some helpers and stuff. So yeah, then we had a well, let me just add tip here. So that would be 20 plus 20. So I'll just take out this 20. So that we had. Then on the day before we moved, our baby fell on her face. She is 8 months old, so that was when she was still 7 months old actually. She fell on her face as she climbed out of her seat, so she had like a bruise on her lip, and I thought that we rushed to the hospital obviously, and in the end they said there was no serious damage, it was just artificial on the face, but she was crying for quite a bit, and she had a nosebleed, which immediately made me think brain damage and all that, and I was so stressed that it was like the worst thing. And at that moment, when I was sitting in the hospital, I thought I might have to stay behind with our baby in the hospital and fly out to the new house at a later date. So that was quite traumatic for me. I've never had one of my kids get hurt in any way like that. I think the worst thing except for that was an allergy, which was years ago with our oldest. But that's the only time I've ever been in hospital with my kids. So this was quite stressful. And in the end, we paid for medical treatment for her, and it was $137.91. I am going to note that is with a public hospital. So in South Africa, you have public and private hospitals. Private hospitals, generally, you have health insurance to cover the cost because you can't afford it in cash mostly. So public hospitals charge you a percentage based on your income, which is great because, I mean, it makes it affordable. But I am going to note that our hospitals aren't always the best hospitals if you go to a public hospital. But we got great treatment, and it didn't cost us our entire house worth of money. Then we had takeaways that night, obviously, because that happened at like 4:30 in the afternoon. We only got home at like 10, so we had takeout, and that was for $27.40. And by the way, her face healed completely. She's perfectly fine and healthy, and she's been for a checkup since, so that's good. Then I had to order more food, which was $5.73.90. Okay, so I'm going to need to start a new food one, it seems. So then we get to the 13th. I'm just going according to my bank statement dates. The dates aren't obviously correct because by the 12th, we were actually already in our new town. We flew out on the 12th, the 6 a.m. flight, so yeah. The dates aren't always correct, as I'm saying. And then we had a tip that we paid. Then we had food again. I'm just going to add another line. And that was $153.93 plus $366.83. I'm not even sure, to be honest, what exactly I bought from Checkers, which is kind of like our Walmart, I guess. It's the biggest shop chain in the country, one of the biggest ones. So yeah, I basically can't remember exactly what I bought, so I'm just allocating everything to food at this point. Then we had, what next? Okay, that Then we had more expenses for workers, and that was a fee, 213, and that was to just, I can't remember exactly what it was for. I just know it's for a worker. Sorry. Okay, so that is up to 1305. So 1405. We had fuel. We had to refill the truck that we rented. So I'm just going to scratch that up. I should really be using my erasable pens. I have no clue where they are. Okay, so it was 200, so it's actually 272.93. So that's done. Then we had another food expense of 932.47. No idea what I bought once again. And then we had another takeout, which was 274.35. Then we had our, I'm just going to add this in here, it was Uber, and there were 3 of them. We had one to our accommodation for the night, then the next morning to the airport of 162, and then the next day, when we landed on this side to our new house, it was 202. Okay, so that was our Ubers to get to the house. Then the 15th, let me just see, where was the 15th? That's the 6th. Okay, so nothing went off my account on the 15th. Then the 16th was our flights. We did buy the flights separately as we had to take 2 carry-ons, and for some reason if you select carry-on, all the tickets get one, and we didn't need 5, we only needed 2 bags, or not carry-on, check-in luggage. So 2 of them was 3002.92, plus the next one for the other 3 of us was 3014.42. So one ticket was for 3, 2 plus the baby, and then the other one was for 2 with luggage checked in. So that was our flights to get here. Then we had takeout again. So this was all on for the week we arrived here. So that would be 394.93. I'm just going to say this, that first week we basically lived off of takeout, since we didn't have the house cleaned, we didn't have our furniture until the Friday, we were staying with friends, so yeah, we basically lived off takeout. Then we had another one of 363.60, and then we had another one of 124. So those are all of our expenses up until the 16th. Yeah, that's all of them. So I'm just going to do 1 week in this video, since it's already at 18 minutes and it's taking forever. So I'm just going to pause and calculate all the totals, and then I'll go through them with you. Okay, so I updated the balances, and we are at a grand total of 14,966.90 that we took from the loan, which I have added in here as well. So this week wasn't the worst of them. There was a bit worse. Later on we'll get to them. But yeah, that's basically how it is. I'll update you in the next video tomorrow, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.